Hey guys, it's Ree with Chapter 7 of 50 Shades of Grey, in which Anastasia sees his playroom and ends up learning the rules of the game he plays. So, starting off with the room, you have about like a page and a half of what's in it and what's going on. The first thing I notice is the smell: leather, wood, polish with a faint citrus scent. The walls and ceilings are deep dark burgundy, giving a womb-like effect to the spacious room, and the floor is old varnished wood. There's a large wooden cross, like an X, fastened to the wall facing the door. It's made of a high-polished mahogany, and there are restraining cuffs on each corner. Above it is an expansive iron grid suspended from the ceiling, 8 foot square at least, and from it hang all manner of ropes, chains, and glinting shackles. By the door, 2 long, polished, ornately carved poles, like spindles from a banister but longer, hang like curtain rods across the wall. From them swing a startling assortment of paddles, whips, riding crops, and funny-looking feathery instruments. That's just the beginning. Then Anastasia states, weirdly, all the wood, dark walls, moody lighting, and oxblood leather, whatever that is, makes the room kind of soft and romantic. I know it's anything but this is Christian's version of soft and romantic. She then becomes intrigued by the feathery thing. She even says, the feathery thing has me intrigued. I touch it hesitantly. It's swayed like a small cat o' 9 tails, but bushier, and there are very small plastic beads on the end. It's called a flogger. Christian's voice is quiet and soft. I can observe and absorb, but not articulate my feelings about this because I am in shock. Well, no shit. I'd be pretty shocked and fucking freaked out. Not anything bad towards the BDSM community, but at the same time, I mean, if someone told me straight up, I'm into that, then I'd be like, cool. But, if someone just kind of like, hey, this is our first date, let me open this door, and then it's just kind of like, thanks for warning me, I'm just gonna go now. And she has all these questions. She's like, what is the appropriate response in finding out a potential lover is a complete freaky sadist or masochist? So many questions cloud my mind. Why? How? When? How often? Who? And she asks him after he commands her to say something. Do you do this to people, or do they do it to you? Then they just kind of talk about it and whatever. And then Anastasia comes to the revelation, she even says it, that she wants to please him. He wants me to please him. I think my mouth drops open. Please, Christian Grey. And I realize in that moment that yes, that's exactly what I want to do. I want him to be damn delighted with me. Well, that's alright. If that's your goal in life, go ahead. But God, there are a bunch of other ones that you could have chosen that would be better off for you. And you wouldn't have to be stuck with this guy. Because that, for me anyway, I would hate that existence. Like, I'd want to be my own person. I wouldn't want to be constantly associated with this guy. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Maybe she wants to be a housewife and do whatever she wants to do. But that's not the life for me, and it really kind of sucks that she decides, like, oh, my whole life has just been a waste. I just want to please this man, even though I have really no clue how. So, we'll see. Then she asks him about why is he part of this culture? Why is this a part of him? And he responds, why is anyone the way they are? That's kind of hard to answer. Why do some people like cheese and other people hate it? Do you like cheese? I have to say, that's a pretty damn good analogy. Comparing people to cheese and BDSM, I mean, you could get some queso in the mix. Cheddar? Hard cheddar? I don't know. Anyway. I'm not too excited tonight because before I went to work, I decided to read Chapter 8, which is a big sex chapter, and it makes me really angry, and you're gonna see why tomorrow, so I hope you're excited to see my reaction. Hopefully I'm not as boring as I am tonight. I'm pretty sure I won't be. If only you could see, like, the comments in the margins of Chapter 8. It was a really painful read, and lots of, like, laughing and anger and hatred towards this book. Lots of, oh my god, what the fuck, shut the fuck up. Are you even serious? Are you even serious? I don't think this woman knows how, like, a woman's anatomy, a woman's body functions. But then, this is a Twilight fan fiction, so I guess it makes sense that neither author, either Stephenie Meyer or E.L. James knows what the hell's going on, because they don't do any research, any valuable, like, scientific research. It's all just fantasy based. And this is all fantasized, romanticized bullshit of controlling boyfriends. And all women should have a controlling boyfriend, so that way they don't have to do any sort of thinking for themselves, and it really freaking sucks. And I hate these kind of books because of that reason. Because I would want to be my own individual, because I don't want a man controlling my life. But that's my feminist rant, and moving on with the chapter. So then they go to the contract, because she has to sign a contract in order to be with him, and there's these rules. And she has to be obedient. She has to get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep at night when she's not with the dominant. For food, the submissive will eat regularly to maintain her health and well-being from a prescribed list of foods. She will not snack between meals with the exception of fruit. For clothes, she also has to wear clothing only approved by the dominant when she's with him. Otherwise, she can wear whatever she wants, so it's kind of like a uniform. She also has to exercise with a personal trainer 4 times a week in an hour-long session in order to stay fit. And she even asks him, she's like, I don't want to exercise 4 times a week. And he's like, Anastasia, I need you supple, strong, and with stamina. Trust me, you need exercise. As if that isn't really fucking creepy. Really fucking creepy. Personal hygiene. Gotta be shaved and waxed at all time. Blah. Personal safety, no drugs, no smoking, whatever. Don't put yourself in any unnecessary danger, which is a big foreshadowing, because if anyone saw or if anyone has read Twilight all the time, Bella Swan, don't get yourself in trouble, and she's always doing stupid shit or always getting dragged into stupid shit, which isn't always necessarily her fault, but curiosity often kills the cat, and she often decides to do stupid shit, like jump off a cliff into like freezing cold water with rocks. So yeah, I think in this book, Anastasia gets kidnapped, or maybe it's one of the next ones. I don't know. I don't even think I want to read the next ones if this book continues going the way it is, because I'm just really kind of pissed off at it, because it's really obnoxious. Personal qualities. She can't enter into any other sexual relationships. She also has to conduct herself in a respectful and modest manner at all times, blah, blah, blah. Failure to comply with any of the above will result in immediate punishment, the nature of which shall be determined by the dominant. And then he introduces his hard limits, like no acts involving fire play, no needles, no knives, no acts involving gynecological medical instruments, blah, 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 no children, no animals, no breathing control, stupid stuff. And then he's like, well, I want to know your limits. And she's like, well, I don't know if I really have any. And he's like, well, when you had sex with other people, what did you like? What didn't you like? As if it wasn't completely obvious that she's a virgin. And so he, kind of urges her. He's like, you can tell me, Anastasia. We have to be honest with each other. It's not going to work. And she's like, well, I haven't had sex before. And he's like, you're a virgin, he breathes. I nod, flushing again. He closes his eyes and looks to be counting to 10, which how can you tell unless if his lips are moving? But anyway, when he opens them again, he's angry, glaring at me. Why the fuck didn't you tell me, he growls. Because it's completely blatantly obvious, and you should be able to figure this out. That's probably why you're so drawn to her, because she acts so innocent, and you know deep down that she is a virgin, and you want to corrupt, which I don't understand. That's the one thing I don't understand, is the wanting to corrupt and wanting to be with the virgin, and it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. But yeah, that's the end of chapter 7. Pretty big stuff, and I'm sorry it was such a boring video. Tomorrow we'll be moving on to chapter 8, the big first sex scene, which makes me really appalled and makes me really hate this book. So we'll see that tomorrow. Have a good night.